Hey, guys.
Hey, Coach.
Morning.
Hey, how tough your stand is.
It is. I gotta get one.
I'm upgrading for you, man. I mean, that's impressive stuff.
I haven't gone that way yet.
How old's that thing you're holding?
This is pretty new. Don't be judgmental. This is pretty new. I had the other one was about 15 years old.
Was it?
Yeah.
Gallon, 5 or 6 minutes. It's
Yeah.
really good. When you went back and looked at the film, what did you see out of him, and how can that help him going forward?
You just try to build confidence. I thought he did a good job. The only reason I probably went back to Will is his experience of us in foul trouble, playing small against Arizona. Will being a little bit more physical around the rim, trying to stop layups and get a rebound. Didn't work, but as far as stopping layups and getting a rebound late in the game, but that's the only reason I really went back to Will, with that. But then Jan took a bad step when he had that thing on the break, so I didn't know what happened to him. But it wasn't a big deal. So, but it was like a 2-on-1, the play I'm talking about.
Right.
Kind of.
Yep.
So I didn't know what happened. That's the only reason I took him out at that, but I thought he got hurt.
How critical is it to? Adem's improved in his foul giving, but his fouls away from the basket and Berke's
I don't know
too.
about his improvement.
Okay.
Found out the last 2 games.
Yeah.
But I appreciate your positive
Thank you.
approach.
Yeah.
It's much needed in this society these days.
I'm trying.
You're trying. Yeah, look, it's still an area of growth for him. It just is. And to your point, where I think you were getting at, it's not all 5 fouls. It's the 2 away from the basket. Whatever you want to call them, cheapos, that you just can't have. That are the biggest issue. So his aggressiveness and his intensity are never in question. But dialing it back at the right times is obviously, the learning curve for him that he's still got to overcome.
And Berke too. Is he?
Yeah, I
in
think
that same
Berke, it's more freshman stuff. When you're a freshman, things happen quickly and you foul because you don't see it. And a couple of his too, because other people. With all big guys, they get fouls because other guys get beat off the dribble. They're trying to protect their rim. But that's why you can't get the cheapos. Yeah, but he's definitely had some cheapos as well, to your point. Like away from the basket, some stuff that's like, what are you doing? Like in Arizona State, almost cost us the game. They're in the bonus, and he fouled a guy 40 feet towards half court. Gave him 2 free throws. They couldn't score. We had them. He brought them back to life with that foul. So it's a learning. With him, he's still a freshman, and I don't know. Some of those things. Berke's a bit of a lawyer at times, so he tries to tell me some of those aren't fouls in international play. I don't know if I buy it.
What are you seeing out of USC right now? Obviously, they've had some injuries, some struggles.
Yeah.
What do you see with them right now?
Different team at home. You look at certain teams, like we just played 2 teams, we're both undefeated at home. USC, if you look at their statistics and their record, they're a much, much different team at home, which tends to be the case sometimes with younger teams. Obviously, their injuries are well documented. I would fully expect Boogie Ellis will play. He's had ample time to recover, I think, at this point. He's been a Bruin killer. So, it's basket gets real big when he sees the 4 letters playing against him for him. But I see they get great size, and the defensive backboard's been an issue for us. So that's a definite area of concern.
You mentioned how well they play at home. I think that's the only place you haven't won in the Pac-12. Is that important to win there, or is that factored in?
I mean, look, in a game like this, obviously the game's always big so if it's big for our fan base, it's big for me. But as far as our season's concerned, we've been playing much better, and we need to continue to, because we've improved. So we need to continue to improve, and you're going to have to win. To win a game, a rivalry game like this on the road, imparting to our guys today and tomorrow more. We focus the first 3 days of the week on rest and then recovery and just ourselves, our own improvement. But the next few days are imparting to our young guys on what they're going to face from an intensity standpoint in a game like this. So, but yeah, to your original thing, the game's important to your fan base. It better be important to you as a coach.
Coach, what are some of the advantages of being able to have a whole week to prepare for a game?
None, because they have the same week. At this point in the season, the advantage would be rest and recovery. Get injured guys back. And the young guys, they tend to hit a wall at times. They need a mental break as much as a physical break. I think the media covering us do as well.
Coach, the confidence game in sports is huge,
Yeah.
no matter what. But when you have a young group like this, how do you nurture that? How do you propel that? Like, what do you?
I think the biggest thing you can do as a coach in any sport is to focus, get guys, and this is hard now, especially in, what year is it, 24, to get guys to focus on the process and not the result. Where, when I first started out with Bob Huggins and there were no cell phones, and no social media, it was a lot easier. Where everybody now is telling them about the result every 5 seconds. And here I am telling them, just worry about your footwork and your follow through. Don't worry about whether the ball goes in.
Yeah, I hear you.
But that's the challenge now. So the answer is, you got to get them to focus on the process and getting better and repeating it. If you do things the right way, results will follow. But you're not always going to have the result you want. And it's a microcosm of our season. It's as devastating as it's been to have, every loss but one to be by single digits, and to go through what we've gone through. It does build character. Not that I want these guys to have to go through it, but it does build character. Because too many young people today don't. Everybody, the helicopter parent's over. It's now the lawnmower parent. You've heard that one? Yeah. Everybody just wants the lawnmower, all their issues, and they don't have to deal with any adversity ever. So, but focusing on the process is so much more difficult nowadays. But whether it's shooting the ball or if we do these 3 things like Arizona game, can't get out hustled, can't get dominated on the glass, got to take care of the ball. We did that, we were in good shape. Once we stopped doing it, we were in trouble. So the result's a byproduct of the process. So.
Coach, how can you talk to the team and tell them that the process, it may not pay off right now, but eventually?
Well, that's life. But again, that's the problem with society nowadays. I have friends that own companies and hire kids, and 2 weeks later, the guy wants a raise and wants to know when his vacation is. I mean, that's just it's the way it is nowadays. It's hard. But the reality is, you don't always get what you want in life when you want it. You can get it. It's just going to take you a lot more work, probably a lot more time, all of us, than you want it to take. And are you willing to fight through all the tough parts? Everybody wants to skip those. But again, that's character building.
Along those same lines, how often do you use Jaime Jaquez as an example of working through that and the process? And
I try to tell guys, look, when he was a freshman, he made the same mistakes you did. He did.
It's good to have someone old up like that, would you say?
He wasn't who he is now when he was a freshman. So, and they know him. So, but the different, one thing I try to tell those guys is the thing that separates him was he was able to come in every day and go full speed. And very few freshmen can do So even as a freshman, I mean, he offensively obviously wasn't the same player, and he made mistakes in that. But he was our hardest playing player on our team as a freshman. Very rare. Very rare. That's when I knew we could build a program around him, and he was going to be a great player. You know, the hardest thing is, as a coach, for all of us, is to get to young guys. Can they practice hard, let alone play hard, and can they pay attention to everything you're saying? It's amazing how hard that is for people, just to be able to show up and get a full day's work. Back in Cincinnati, one of my close friends, wildly successful, self-made guy named Larry Shakley, they had a study done in his company. He basically told me that the study told him you get about 25% of what you're paying for from employees. Very few employees do you get 100% of what you're paying for. You know, Jaime Jaquez is where he is because he was able to give you 100% every day. So that was the separator. So that's what I tell him. He's where he is because he was able to give 100% every day.
Have you determined who the hardest playing player is on this team yet?
It's not even close. It's Adem Bona. Yeah, it's not even close. That's why wherever, wherever, I mean, he'll play basketball a long time. Because, wherever that happens, because he's able to show up every day. You get 100% from him every day.
Is he leading the Hungry Dog Awards maybe?
Our leading deflection guy, I would say he's probably the guy right now. I don't have it in front of me, but yeah.
Are blocks deflections?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, so
Block, loose ball, recovery, deflection. You know, any piece of the ball, block shots, one of them, obviously. I'd like him to keep some of his blocks in play. You know, I got to show him some Kenyon Martin flips where he catch it.
Have you had to, because you obviously have a very distinct style of coaching, but like, have you had to change like your delivery between like, back
Yeah,
in
what I would
Cincinnati
say,
and now?
is you guys only see, you only see what you see.
Sure.
So, unless a few of these guys they actually watch. They don't just watch what the camera wants to show. So there's a time for everything. Head coaching is like being a starting pitcher. You can't, you're not a relief. You can't come in and throw fastballs for the bottom of the ninth and that's it. I know that's been a point of contention for Coach Roberts, my buddy, and Dodger fans because they haven't had ever since Jansen gave up the homer in the World Series. You mentioned relief pitching in LA. It's kind of a shaky time. Starting pitcher, you got to change speeds. You got to have multiple pitches and deliveries at different times of the year.
when it comes to coaches getting technicals, is there a strategic time? Do you?
Yeah,
are
I
you a part
wanted
of
one
that?
I wanted one in the Cal game.
Yeah.
Obviously, didn't want one in the Arizona game and shouldn't have gotten one. It was a conversation. Never raised my voice. Never used any words that would cause you to get a technical. So
When you want
obviously,
one,
I dealt with the conference and people with that.
when you want one, I mean that has to be. You're trying to get one and you can't. Is that what you're saying at times?
No. I know how to get it.
Okay.
Take your coat off in the Cal game. Trying to wake my team up.
Yeah.
Other people want to say you're out of control. It's comical.
Going back to Adem for a second, how would you rate where he is right now as a rebounder and as a passer?
Well, his biggest problem in rebounding right now is he's being held, and we don't have other guys helping him enough. And he's really grown as a passer. He's getting double teamed a lot. Talked to his high school coach, Darren did the other day. I mean, you understand that Adem was a non-factor on offense in high school. He has worked extremely hard. And when Coach Savino's done a great job with his offense. And he is improving leaps and bounds as an offensive player from who he was 2 years ago. And passing's part of that. I think some of his rebounding issues, are he doesn't have as much help, so he's being blocked out by multiple people. And I would contend he's being held a lot.
How much has his improved? Should knock on wood. I don't want to curse
Yeah.
you, but you've shot 37% from three in the last 3 games. How much is his passing?
Yeah, passings have a lot to do with that. I would say this to you: passing is the key to shooting a high percentage. And his passing was excellent in the Arizona game. We did their pressure, and give them credit. We weren't able to get him the ball enough in the second half. And that was our offensive problem in the second half. His touches near the basket were limited. He had one turnover, and he got another time he got a touch. He got fouled, made both free throws. His other ones, he got people wide open shots. But he only had like 4 post touches the whole second half. Like, that can't happen.
All good?
Good.
All right.
All right, guys.